Welcome back, everybody, to part 2 of our drivers' press conference here in Jeddah. This time, Isack, Hadjar, Max Verstappen and Fernando Alonso. Very warm welcome to you all. Fernando, let's start with you. It's been a bit of a tough start for Aston Martin this year. Do you think the faster sweeps of Jeddah are going to suit the car better than was the case in Bahrain?
Yeah, I hope so. I think, the first couple of weekends has been not easy for us. Some challenges with the new car, but I think the high speed content of Jeddah should be a little bit better for us. So, we really hope for a better weekend.
What are the limiting factors with this car?
We're still actually discovering a little bit the car and some of the weaknesses of the car. I would say that the first 4 Grand Prix, the slow speed corners were probably our weakest part of the track, but there are some concerns as well of bouncing and some other stuff that we are facing from time to time. So we are working hard on improving those, and as I said, here in Jeddah is super high grip, a lot of high speed corners, so all in all should be a better weekend.
Is there a quick fix to the low speed problems?
I think in Formula One there is never a quick enough thing to solve your problems. I think competitors are strong. They are also improving their cars and their problems, and it's always a race off track, to get the car better and better. But I think we have a couple of ideas. Some of those has to be also with the setup that we could try on the weekends as well. Here we have a stable weather conditions, so let's try to use FP1, FP2, FP3 to maximize the track time and learn about the car.
I remember you saying in the press conference in Hungary last year that you wanted to build some momentum in the second half of last year. How important is momentum this year when we look ahead to the rule changes in 26?
Less important than last year, because this year's cars are a continuation of last year's, the last race in Abu Dhabi. I don't think that, the results that we are seeing now, they were very different than Abu Dhabi compared to the first 4 races. So, I think next year is a completely new set of regulations, a completely reset. What you learn this year maybe is not super useful for next year in terms of aerodynamics on the cars. So, obviously you always want to finish the season on a high and keep the motivation high for everybody. But I think the motivation in the team is super high anyway, because as we said many times, we have our wind tunnel now working since, a few weeks ago. We have Adrian in the team, we have Honda coming, new regulations, so the motivation is really high.
Yeah, you mentioned Adrian. You've got this great asset, this great racing brain in Adrian Newey. Would you like to see him just investigate some of the problems that you've got with this car, or would you like to see him just concentrate on 26?
I think ultimately is his decision, and he has enough experience, and enough knowledge and background to know what is best. And I think he's working only on 26. So if he's deciding that, I totally support that.
All right, Fernando, thank you very much for that. Max, let's come to you now. This triple header has been a bit of a roller coaster so far. You started it with that sensational win at Suzuka, then came the frustrations of Bahrain last weekend. What can we expect from Red Bull here in Jeddah?
I hope a bit better than Bahrain. I mean, a few more high-speed corners, different tarmac. I hope that we can, be a bit more competitive and maybe a bit more in the middle between the 2 races, potentially.
And Pirelli are bringing softer compounds here compared to last year. How do you see that playing out? What sort of influence will that have? Yeah,
I mean, in general, I think here it's been always a bit like a one-stop, race, and I think it's always, there's a bit more going on when you try and have maybe a two-stop or whatever. But let's see first, of course, how the tires are going to hold up. It's going to be quite warm as well to drive.
Max, similar question to the one I asked Fernando, in that, is there a quick fix to the issues you've got with the car, and where would you like to see the team focus its resources? 25, 26?
I think we've experienced enough to focus on this year and next year, but naturally, we're still trying things with the car, not even outside of bringing parts to the car, just setup-wise, other things that we can improve. It's constantly trying to improve the car, I guess. And that's what we'll try to do again this weekend.
All right, best of luck with that. Thank you very much. Isack, coming to you now. Slightly more difficult weekend for the team in Bahrain. Let's start with that. What were the issues? Do you understand what the problems were there?
Yeah, I think it was definitely not as good as the last 2 weekends, even Melbourne. I think it's a bit of an outlier, Bahrain, with those track temps, and it's a really different tarmac. There's no grip, and you don't feel like driving a real F1 car there. So yeah, we definitely struggled a bit more. I still had a car that was able to go to Q3, I think, with a better lap, so it's still not too bad. And then, definitely on Sunday, we had a tough lap 1, and then from there the race is pretty much over. So I still think it was not as bad as it looked, but I want to believe that Jeddah is going to be suiting us way better.
Something I asked the rookies in Group 1 was, what are your expectations of Jeddah in a Formula 1 car? You're going to be going, I think, 14 seconds a lap faster roughly than you were in Formula 2. What sort of feel have you been getting on the simulator?
Yeah, it's all, every track I go to in FP1, it's always impressive the first time, because your last reference is from Formula 2. So it's always a bit of the shock the first few laps, but to be fair, now I'm, let's say, up to speed. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this track, especially Sector 1. It's gonna be really exciting.
Look, this is race 5, Isack. It feels like you've got your feet firmly under the table now at Racing Bulls. Just what is the biggest thing you've learnt thus far in your Formula 1 career?
Make sure the belts are tight. And
not too tight.
Yeah, not too tight. Yeah. I don't know. Watch out for white lines. This kind of stuff, That's all.
All in the detail.
Yeah, details.
All right, look, thank you for that. Let's now open this to the floor. We're going to go to the broadcasters first, and David.
David Croft, Sky Sports F1. Max, let's turn to you first. Something about Jeddah, isn't it? Red Bull go really well on track, but there's just as much to talk about off track with Red Bull. And this week, Helmut Marko says he fears your Red Bull exit. Why is he saying that? Is it just because you were trying to overtake Pierre Gasly for 6th place on the final lap in Bahrain, or is there something more deep-seated than that?
I don't know, to be honest. I just keep working, keep trying to improve the car. Now, naturally, Bahrain wasn't a great weekend for us. I think we were all pretty disappointed with that. And we just keep on trying to improve the car, come up with new ideas to try on the car. Competition is tough. And that's how I go about my weeks, just trying to improve the situation.
So he's getting the wrong end of the stick. You're not thinking of leaving Red Bull at any time?
No, I think just focus on commentating. I'll focus on driving. And then, you don't need to think about any other scenarios.
We just worry about you.
All right, thank you. Next one, please.
Hi, Mariana from TV. Mariana Becker from TV Bandeirantes. Max, what do you want to see differently in the team this weekend that it didn't work last weekend?
Yeah, well, we struggle a bit with the balance, Entry to mid-corner balance is not where I want it to be, so we'll try to fix that, improve that. How much we can fix that here, I don't know, but hopefully the tarmac also helps a bit with that.
Thank you, Max. Next one.
Davide Camiccioli, Sky Italia, for Max. Max, What about your future? All talking about Mercedes, Aston, why not Ferrari?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, yeah, a lot of people are talking about it, except me. So, yeah. Like I said before, you know, I just want to focus on my car, work with the people in the team. That's the only thing that I'm thinking about in Formula One at the moment. I'm very relaxed.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Margot.
Hello, Margot Lafitte, Canal+. Question for Fernando. We're doing a report about you and Aston Martin, so it's going to be a kind of general question, not specifically on Jeddah. 2 years ago, you were fighting for pole position. You led the race. You were also on the podium. What do you make of what happened since then, since being able to lead a race, which was the last time? And where are Aston Martin and you standing today? You said you were still very motivated, but are you still patient enough?
Yes, yeah, it has been an incredible journey so far. I think this is the 50th Grand Prix for me with Aston, and yeah, I could not probably imagine what we achieved in these 50 Grand Prix. But yeah, now we are facing some more difficulties than for sure the first part of the journey. But at the same time, we are a much better team, a much more prepared team to fight for world championships that we were 2 years ago, where we had a very small factory. We were using Mercedes wind tunnel, and maybe we didn't have the right, you know, people and partners together in the project. So, yeah, the results on track on Sunday are not, you know, the same as they were before, but I feel very relaxed, very motivated, and this is just a transition time that we have to learn things and prepare the team in a different way. For the time that we have the car ready to fight for championships, the team is ready as well in that moment.
Okay, thank you. Next one.
Vicky Birria for Sky Italy for Fernando. Next year it's supposed to be, you know, a good picture for you guys based on the chit chat on the paddock, you know, with Adrian and the new engines and these rumors of Max. Do you see them as a threat for your seat?
I don't think so, as I have contract for next year. But I see the rumors, you know, very good for the team. You know, as you said before, the world champion, you know, is sometimes linked with some other teams and a possible departure from Red Bull, and the teams that they are commenting are Mercedes, Aston Martin and Ferrari, as your colleague said now. So this shows, you know, the project that we are in and the future that this team has. And as I said always, even last year when I extend the contract, I said that I will drive for as long as I feel fast and I feel competitive and the team needs me behind the wheel. But my contract is much longer than my racing career, so I will stay with this team for many, many years in a different role. And if that means that we can win a world championship, even when I'm not behind the wheel, I will still feel very proud of the project.
Fernando, would you welcome Max as a teammate?
Yes, but it's unlikely to happen. Very unlikely.
Okay, next one, please.
Tom Slafer, on Spain. Question for Fernando about these rumors, likely or unlikely. Honda's coming next year with exclusivity for the engine. Adrian Newey and other top engineers wanted to join the team. Maybe Max wants to join the team. Does it make you feel that you make the right decision before everyone else did? Does it make you feel comfortable with your decision joining Aston Martin a couple of years ago?
I don't know. I mean, it's not a right or wrong decision. You make your choices. And when I left Alpine, I thought that I will not fight for a world championship in Alpine. They may do in the future or in the short-term future, because I don't have a long-term future. I will not race forever. So in the period of, you know, my racing career is active, you know, at that time I thought Aston Martin was a better place. I did enjoy 2023 being competitive, and I do enjoy now the process that we are in and the building of this team of the future that I sometimes say. we are not the team of the present, and it's what I would like to have, because in the future I don't know if I will be, as I said, behind the wheel, but I will do my best to help Aston to achieve, the best results as soon as possible.
Sky Sports F1.
Champion of the world!
Welcome everybody to the drivers' press conference ahead of the FIA Formula One Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We've got the two groups coming your way as per usual. Group 1, on your left, Alex Albon, Ollie Behrman and Gabriel Bortoleto. Now, Ollie, can we start with you? Because this race marks the anniversary of your Formula One debut with Ferrari. It's been a crazy ride for you since then. Just how do you reflect on the last 12 months?
Yeah, that was a crazy weekend 1 year ago, and I just hope that physically I'm a bit stronger than I was 12 months ago, because it was a really tough race. But of course, to come back 1 year on is a very special feeling, and I always love driving this track. It's my third time here, and always had decent performances actually. And then, of course, to have my debut as well, it means I think this track will always be quite special to me. So really happy to be back.
Ollie, what is it about this track that ensures you do go as well as you do?
Well, I'm not speaking ahead of time, but in F2 it went pretty well for us. I think we had a really good car here. And, F1 wasn't as good, but still it was a debut which was amazing. And the track is really cool. It's really high grip, which is always fun for us as drivers, and the walls are close, which is always interesting. It's really high speed, high commitment track, and just a fun one to drive. I think it's a highlight for a lot of us during the season.
A lot of risk and reward.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, you've shown great consistency, 3 points finishes in the last 3 races. Just give us an overview of how you feel it's going this year for you.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with how it's going. Of course, the race in Bahrain was a mixed bag. Qualifying was very poor, but we got a bit of fortune in the race with the safety car to maximize and score a point, which was great. The other 2 races, we really deserve to be up there and scored some good points. And we've had 2 races now with both cars in the points, which is really, really good. And yeah, of course, Australia was really difficult, but we turned it around pretty quickly and bought a small upgrade to the car, which allowed us to run it more in the window that we want to. And now we're able to extract a lot of performance out of it, which is nice.
A lot of performance. So what is possible this weekend?
Who knows? We came to Suzuka not expecting much because of the nature of the track. And we were in Q3 and scored points. Bahrain, I was not really sure what we could achieve because we hadn't done much low fuel there. But without Esteban's problem, I think he could have been in Q3. And then again, it's the same. I'm still thinking of Australia a little bit in the back of my mind, but I know that we can have a good weekend. So let's see how it goes. No predictions.
All right. Well, very good luck with that. Thank you, Ollie. Let's come to Alex now. Big picture stuff, first of all. Haas have snuck ahead of Williams in the Constructors' Championship. Just how do you see the lay of the land in the midfield at the moment?
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't think after Melbourne would have ever said that Haas were going to be in the mix, and then they came back very strongly. So it seems like they've obviously designed their car and focused on their race car quite a lot, and it seems to be paying off for them. I think in many ways, last week we got a little bit unlucky with the safety car. I think we're on for a good points finish. But that's it. It's so close now, and I think that as a team we can reflect on the first 4 races that we've been very consistent. I think the gap to P1 has always been very similar. I think the other midfield teams are a little bit peakier, and they have they can score good points, but not every time. I think for us, we realistically should have had 4 points finishes in 4 races. So let's see. I think we just got to keep doing our job and hoping that we can just do everything a little bit better than everyone else.
Alex, how much personal satisfaction are you taking from this season? As you say, coulda, woulda, shoulda, but 4 points finishes in a row was possible. It feels very different to any of your previous seasons in Formula One. How much satisfaction does that give you?
Yeah, honestly, yes. It's been a really strong start to the season for us, and we felt good in the car from the first lap. We drove in the shakedown at Silverstone. It's given us a good feeling. It's much more enjoyable to drive, and honestly, I'm just enjoying the racing out there. I feel like that midfield pack has become so tight. In Bahrain, in Q1, we just didn't get things optimal, and that's it. You're out straight away. So there's a lot of pressure on every lap that you do in the midfield right now, and that's exciting. And it feels like every race you go in, not knowing where you're going to come out, and it's been the most enjoyable so far season of Formula One for me.
There's another variable this year. Pirelli have gone one step softer on the compounds, the tyre compounds. Do you expect that to cause any issues?
It will be interesting. I think that they are soft, and we've seen in the past that sometimes the very soft tyres are a little bit different, the way that they feel in high-speed corners. And this weekend is definitely a high-speed track. So it will be interesting to know how we can get the C5s working this weekend. I think, as it has been every weekend so far, the tyres are very sensitive, and if you can get them in the right window, it's the difference maker. I think all the cars now in the midfield are so close together that if you're in that right window, that's Q3.
All right. Well, best of luck. Thank you very much, Alex and Gabriel. Let's come to you now. First of all, what are your predictions as to how it's going to feel to drive this racetrack? You're going to be going 14 seconds a lap faster than you were in F2, I think. What does it feel like on the sim, at least?
Well, it feels absolutely crazy fast. So, yeah, very different. Definitely very different approaches as well on driving technique comparing to F2. Probably one of the tracks that you're going to have the most difference on techniques on the way you drive comparing to Formula 2, especially in the first sector with the high speeds. So very interesting. I'm looking forward to trying it. And if there's something fun about this Formula 1 cars, is the high speed that we go. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
You come here on the back of a slightly difficult weekend in Bahrain. What were the take-home messages for you from the last race?
Well, I think, it was a tough weekend. Definitely in the race, I got a bit stuck behind Stroll at the last stint after the safety car and couldn't get past, even if I felt that I had more pace, just super difficult. But yeah, I mean, just another race weekend. It's the beginning of my season. There's a lot of things that we took as a learning from my side, from the team side as well. And yeah, now we try to apply everything in here.
Both you and Nico Hulkenberg have spoken about the difficulties of passing cars, even if you feel you have more pace. Why, or just describe what happens when you're driving in dirty air. How does the car feel?
Well, again, I've never driven any other Formula 1 car that is not a Sauber, in a race or anything. Definitely dirty air is for everyone. But we seem to struggle, quite a lot to overtake. And when we get too close to people, it just feels that you lose a lot of aerodynamics and everything, downforce. So it's just tough, because sometimes we feel that we have the pace. The pace is there, it's probably not to score points yet, but we are working on that. But sometimes, better at least than the guys we are around. And then as soon as we get close, just lose quite a lot of grip, and has been quite tough to overtake, to at least try a move, to be side by side at the end of the straight, or even at a position that you can dive bomb. But, last weekend was very tough because I was not even in that situation. So, yeah, just a shame, because I want to be fighting again for something. I want to be fighting for overtakes and for positions. And so far this year has been very tough to not being able to do that. Most of the times it's an undercut you do in the pit stop, or try to stay a bit long to try something different, but not really an overtake on track.
All right, well, look, best of luck this weekend. Let's now open this to the broadcasters. Who's going to go first, please? David, yeah.
Thanks, Tom. David Croft, Sky Sports F1. Afternoon there, gentlemen. Question for Gabrielle. Last in the championship, average starting position 17.3, I think it is, but you're a better driver than that, and your previous 2 seasons have proved it. How are you coping with having a season that is so different to your last couple of seasons, and what experience have you got to help you cope with differing positions on track to what you've been used to?
Well, I hope in FP1 I'm like you in the question, you know, like flat out. So, well, it's not easy. If I'm honest, it's not easy. You know, you come from 2 championships. You are used to, you know, being in this room, but actually after a race, you know, because you win or you are in the podium, and now for us it's already a mega job if you are going to Q2 or fighting for Q3. But, you know, there is always going to be someone paying this price at the beginning. If you see George Russell at the beginning of his Formula 1 career, I don't think he scored a point in his first season in Formula 1 or something like this. And now, you know, he's one of the best drivers in the grid and doing such a great job. And I wouldn't say fighting for the championship right now, but he's constantly in the podium or fighting for things. So it's all about having patience. There's nothing much I can do right now. Just learn, try to grow as a driver in these tough moments and do a better job every race weekend. And yeah, get better, because I'm not fighting for points right now. That's the realistic situation, not me, not Nico. You know, Nico did a very good job in Australia when a messy race and managed to score points, but realistically in the last 3-4 rounds we have not been able to be there by pure pace. And what we need to do now is try to point the team in the right direction with the development of the car, because we saw last year with Sauber as well, you know, they were last through the whole year basically, and I think 1 upgrade or 2 upgrades they were back on fighting for Q3. So in this world I've learned something, that everything can happen, so we cannot give up.
Okay, next one, please. Thanks.
Yeah. Mariana Becker from TV Band. Gabriel, you just explained how tough it is for you mentally to keep on wanting, you know, and fighting even with the limitations of your car. Is there someone who gives you those tips? Because you haven't been in a situation like that before, and several, you know, more experienced driver, they did. Is there someone who talked to you, or even if it's not a driver, someone who would tell you you have to be patient or anything like this? And the second question is do you have any difference on the car here that would give you hope to have better position or to have a better understanding of the car?
Well, answering your first question, I don't speak with anyone, you know, outside of, you know, motorsport, just my family, and with some drivers I do speak, you know, and some of them have been through what I'm going through right now. Tough seasons, you know, not scoring points or struggling to do that. And yeah, you just need to have patience. But it's no news for me. It's not that I came to this season expecting to be fighting for podiums or points every race. You know, I knew what I was going to go through, and I just needed to be strong and keep it up. And the team has been very clear with me since the beginning that was our situation, and we just fight for it. And I know it is not nice to be in the situation we are, but it is what it is. That's life, I think. So yeah, and answer your second one. No, not that I know. You know, no difference. Just normal, and still we need to try to bring some good upgrades on the car, but not for this one.